Hey there, everybody. Happy Friday. I hope you are doing well. I am. If you're new here, you just landed. My name is Afefe with Touch by Tarot and Beyond. I'm a certified tarot reader. I am also a former newspaper journalist, so I tend to approach my readings pretty fact-based, try to get my research done and, delve into issues, but then we always go to spirit to get more context and more insight about what that deal really is, okay? I'm also, just give you a little more information, I'm also an initiated ordained priestess in both Wiccan and African traditions. So got a lot going on, and I try to bring it all here to the channel to keep it, keep the content good for you. All right. Existing subscribers and members, mwah, I appreciate you so very much. I love you all's vibe, by the way. I read the comments. You are, one of the reasons that I love having this channel is because I do consider it a platform and a community, a platform for community. It's not just about me getting on here doing my little blah, 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 but it's a place that I want always for people to feel like you come here, you see who's in the chat. I notice people go back and forth. Maybe you make friends. It just gives you a sense that we're not in this alone, and we need that sense more than ever. So my channel and many others, I do feel that collectively we are helping to maintain energy and hope that we all certainly need right now, and a sense of being involved, right? Can't afford to just sit back. That said, taping this early Friday morning, we knew it was coming, or we thought it was coming. I had done a reading a few days ago about the likelihood of what the Senate was going to do in regards to the Senate Democrats having to kick in to get the spending bill over the hump. And lo and behold, all right. So Chuck Schumer, so much as, basically, from everything we're seeing, he basically might as well resign. Just might as well get up and resign. Fetterman, like, you almost feel like I had an image, for entertainment purposes only. I had an image like, one of those sci-fi movies where somebody put him on a table and connected some electrodes or something to him. Like, such an interesting switch in him. And he held so much promise as what we thought was going to be, I guess, a progressive voice at one point. But anyway, let's keep it pushing. Here's what I want to look at, you all. AOC is on fire behind this, right? And she's got momentum going. She and Jasmine Crockett, and give it up for 83-year-old Bernie Sanders out there. We've been talking about him. Now we understand AOC has said she's going to get out there and do these protests, the oligarchy rallies, with some more of those with Bernie, in addition to doing some on her own. Here's what I want to see. Based on what happened last night, we're already hearing calls for AOC to run for Senate. Spirit said last year, we were looking at her, at least on my channel, we were looking at her, and it said clearly the House is not the end for her. She's not going to be a career House rep. She is, her star is rising. And there were questions around whether she would actually go and go for the Senate. Now with what Chuck Schumer has done, that likelihood, there are outright calls being made for her. Hey, time for him to go. He does not, if my information is right though, you all, he's in until, Schumer's in until 2028. Here's the kicker. We're going to go to Spirit. Should she go for the Senate and replace Schumer? I think at this point she'd be a shoo-in. Or is she going to wind up on the ticket in 2028 as a VP with Pete Buttigieg? Pete Buttigieg, as we heard, has decided, we heard some whispers now for the last some months, that he was either maybe going to go for governor of Michigan or Senate. Now he came out and made an announcement, not doing either one. What does that tell us, right? So he's got his sights. I think he pretty much has made it very clear. He's got his sights on 2028 presidential run. Would AOC be an ideal VP candidate? That's what we're going to look at. So, going to take a really good deep dive on Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Spirit, please show, is she going to run for Senate, or will she hold out and be a possible contender on the ticket? I've heard some people, Spirit is saying, remind us, some people have gone as far as to say AOC for 2028 at the top of the ticket. I don't think, I don't see that personally. I'm not getting that from my guidance. We can always go back and look. We got some time, but I don't. Just the way things are positioned, and also because of her still like gaining momentum, I wouldn't be surprised maybe down the road, but it's very clear, and I think other readers as well as my guidance has said, it's sad to say, it will not be a woman at the top of the ticket for the DEMS in 2028. It just will not, for many, many reasons. All right, we have Judgment at the bottom of the deck. She's weighing her options. She recognizes the importance of the moves that she makes right now, whether she were to, make a very, very clear run for the Senate. Like, Senate would be a done deal for her at this point. Schumer has, like I said, he might as well have he didn't even need to show up to work today. He might as well just have turned in his resignation after this. So we have the Judgment card. And we have Justice. Woo! 2 major heavy hitters right out the deck. She is, and again, this is about weighing her decision, because she knows with certainty that should she make a push for the Senate seat, Schumer's Senate seat is done. She's in. Will AOC, Spirit, will she be on the ticket as a vice presidential candidate in 2028? And again, I know we're looking a ways off. Here's the Devil. I love the way the Spirit's given us major arcana energy. If you're not that familiar with tarot, when you get major arcana cards, it's the information from Spirit is like bullhorn, like, listen to us. This is important. This is going to be big. We have the Devil. I think what I'm getting from that, you all, is from her perspective, not the voters' perspective, but from AOC's perspective. Yes, thank you. And I just got a confirmation that what I'm about to say is right, because I got an ace. My aces are yes from Spirit. Ace of Cups there. Her concern is, on the one hand, should she go, New York, she's got New York State locked. Like, her star is rising. And nationally, her star is rising for sure. But on a practical level, and in terms of her making solid political moves, she knows, with this Judgment and Justice coming together, she knows that she could, and the mistakes that Schumer has made, she knows she can get that Senate seat. To get on a vice presidential, get on a presidential ticket in the number 2 spot, that's a little trickier. The World. Woo! Spirit is just bringing the major arcana. Got it. Thank you. Spirit is like, Afefe, is not that hard. 1 and 1 equals 2. Got it. So, Senate race, New York, no problem, because that's her home base anyway. This World card with the Devil it says that she would have so much work cut out for her on a national scale. She is known now nationally, certainly much more so than she was, in some years past, as she continues to grow in recognition. But she would have a lot of work cut out for her in terms of making her profile more prevalent on a national stage. We saw, and I feel like she can do it. They just reminded me of Tim Walz, right? When Kamala Harris chose Tim Walz, and then he hit with Republicans. They're just weird, right? Remember, he hit with that. He hit with the joy message. And so suddenly someone who maybe was not as prominent or expected for that position just caught wildfire. She could do that. But it's just a matter of being really careful about it. There's that, and that's what I think the Devil is saying, that there would be those who would certainly do everything to twist her messaging. She has been accused of being too progressive, etc. But as she has matured and as she has developed her platform even further, she's rectified a lot of that. And we have 10 of Cups. She could, in fact, pull it off. She could pull it off. She's not quite convinced of that yet. on the national scale. There's some work done. So we've got time. We're talking a few years, or 2 years, because they'll kick it off by, late 2027, and then early 2028 is when everything is going to start moving. But she's got a lot. She's got more work to do to fit that platform, rather than New York, done. So right now, I would say I think she's leaning towards the Senate. But let's look at Buttigieg. Okay, first things first, let me slow it down. We're all under the assumption that the reason that Pete Buttigieg said he's not going to try and make a run for the Senate or governor in Michigan is because he's decided, all right, I'm coming for 2028. Let's get a confirmation of that spirit. Will Pete Buttigieg run for president in 2028? Is that what his plan is at this time? Is that what he's planning? 2 cards just came. I didn't shuffle well enough. I got 2 of the same cards. I got the devil and the world that came back together. Let me shuffle a little bit better. In fact, let me go to another deck. Because this deck is already shuffled. Spirit, is Pete Buttigieg going to go for president? Is he going to run for president of the United States in 2028? Is that why he has said publicly he will not go for Senate or governor of Michigan? Is he going to make a run in 2028? Woo! Spirit said, go ahead and get a different deck. I am talking this morning. Here comes judgment. I love it. So, different deck, same energy. The stakes are really... the stakes are so high for us right now, and I hope that if nothing else, if you're watching this reading, you understand that spiritually there is so much guidance that we're being given, there is so much support that we're being given, and really it is incumbent upon us. With spirit, it's like you move, they move, you move, they move, right? For every step you take, they're right there with you. So they're saying there is such an awakening, and Pete Buttigieg, he's done it before. He did it when he was a transportation. Like, he'd go on Fox. You've seen him. He'll go on Fox. He'll talk to anybody and meet you eye to eye where you are. Not blink, right? Not get nervous, not get flustered. The man is simply brilliant. And I remember there was talk about his ability to catapult within the party as well. And some folks were like, well, is America really ready for a gay man? Yes. After what America's dealing with at this point? Yeah. You want to deal with a fascist? or can you get over the fact that he loves another man? Like, for real, what really matters at this point? I think that's the recognition. Judgment is a very powerful card of lessons learned. Some people call it second chances, where America's going to need a second chance to decide who we really are. And the Ace of Swords, don't even need to go any further with this one, you all. Yes, hands down, the decision has been made. And also because, from what I understand, economically, we know this money game when you run for high office, and he cannot afford to split his donors that way to go for a temporary situation in 2026 with governor or Senate, and then turn around and have to mount a presidential campaign. Doesn't make sense. So, yeah. Buttigieg. Will Buttigieg consider, I think it's too soon to say for sure, will Buttigieg consider AOC as a running mate? Will he consider AOC as a running mate? Page of Cups, likes her, would love to talk with her. 3 of Wands, would be willing to work with her. But there's more than one. He'd be looking at her and someone else already. He's already having those thoughts, you all. Page of Cups, he's already having those thoughts in regards to, or some talks even, in regards to, okay, it's me at the top of the ticket. It's going to be crucial who comes with me. Queen of Swords, though. Could very well be a woman, and what better woman than Knight of Pentacles. He's going to be very careful about making the decision, as he should be. He understands the conflict, 5 of Wands, and the 10 of Pentacles. there's going to be a lot of canvassing. We will see. That's one reason that AOC is going to be on the national, going to these red states. We've heard she's going to be very strong in doing rallies and town halls in New York and Pennsylvania. But also nationally, because the 10 of Pentacles, it's all about the people. It's all about us, the voters. It's all about getting people motivated and making sure that we can get over this conflict, which leads me to how I was going to close out today's reading. You all, we've heard many really good readers on this platform, and others have said we're headed for a split. DEMS are headed for a split. And I'm getting the vibe from Spirit that based on what we just saw, there's no coming back from what happened with Schumer and the Senate Democrats voting for this bill. There is a definite schism in the party in Washington. And even as we've seen all these attempts at, or failed attempts at unity, to unify around a message of resistance, of how are we going to fight back, it just has not happened. Now we got Gavin Newsom off the cliff on a podcast with well, I don't know if he's had Joe Rogan yet, or he's competing with Joe Rogan, but Steve Bannon, like, what? What? Andy Bashir was like, dude, really? So, yeah, we're seeing a split. I think the conflict, that Five of Wands that we just saw a moment ago, has to do with Pete Buttigieg is going to be an incredible unifier. He's got, he's got the resume, he's got the chops, he's got the experience, he has the finesse, he's connected. He just checks all the boxes. But the party itself becoming more identified and comfortable with progressive stances. The Star. Yep. That's what's up. That's what's up. So what we're going to see, you all, is I'm getting, certainly by 2026, we're already heading into almost halfway through 2025, might as well say. Can't go fast enough, right? Woo. But by 2026, we're popping midterms, all of that, But remembering too, all of that is setting the stage for 2028. Like, all of this is in motion. It feels like we're in time leaps, leaping timelines where things are happening simultaneously. So while it may feel like, why are we focused on 2028 when we're still trying to get through 2025? It's because 2028 is already in motion, you all. The players, look at Pete. He recognizes it. Others recognize it. So that's why we have to, it's almost like we're on this chessboard is what I'm seeing. And Spirit is like, no, you got to already know what your moves are going to be down the road. So all eyes on Pete, all eyes on AOC. Schumer might as well pack his bags, go home, take a long trip to the Bahamas or whatever. It really doesn't matter anymore. And it's very disappointing, but it is what it is. All right, you all. I hope that was helpful. Prayers around the veterans and those who are going to protest later today. Again, I'm taping this really early on Friday morning, the 14th. And today is that day of the march in Washington by the veterans or VA and supporters and families. And then I also heard that there were supposed to be some offshoots of that protest around the country. So just keep your prayers up for them. Applause to those who took over the lobby of the Trump Tower, I think it was, right? In regards to the Palestinian gentleman, Muhammad Khalil, I think is his last name, who's being held somewhere we don't even know in Louisiana. Poor wife, 8 months pregnant. 8 months pregnant, his wife, and can't see him, doesn't, Fight the power, y'all. Fight the power. We, the people. Tim Walz said a while ago, who's leading this charge right now? And he said the voting public. So things are happening, and let's just keep it going. Take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. Keep our prayers high. Keep our chin up, our shoulders back. Breathe deep. And remember to place your faith in something greater than what we see these folks doing around here. They are not almighty. All right? I'll talk to you soon. Bye.